The Wall Street Journal, about half of young adults under 30 are now living with a parent, according to a 2025 Federal Reserve survey. That is an increase of 6% since 2022. And just before the pandemic in 2019, only 36% of young adults were living with their parents.
So what do you guys think of that?
So now it's 50% of people under 30 living with their parents. Yeah.
There's a funny stat though. 50% of adults under 30. So that includes even children adults are like 18 to 30. Okay.
18 to 30.
Got it.
Are living with their parents.
I feel like
probably more on the 18 end than the 30 end, probably.
It's more expensive than ever.
Yeah, I mean.
And then I think also now with all the like financial like coach gurus and stuff, that's almost encouraged. Like why move out early if you could save on
shamed the way it used to be. Yeah.
Start stacking chips before you move out.
Because it's hella adopted. Everyone's doing it.
And there's no other option for most people. Like what are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. Can't afford anything else.
Because that's what I would want to know is like, are they still living with their parents? But because like it's not odd to do that if you're Asian. And then like if you're saving up money for buying your own house, or like maybe one day you buy a house and then you move your parents in, whatever, right? You work as a team. But how many of those guys and gals are fucking losers doing nothing at home, living with their parents?
Doing it by default rather than by intention.
Yeah.
Does it count when your parents, is it still living with your parents if your parents own multiple properties and they just let you live in one?
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, if your parents are taking care of you, I think they're still taking care of you.
Slightly different in that like living with your parents might also imply that, I don't know, maybe you're not as
independent,
like with a partner. You probably don't have a partner.
So you know this whole generational home thing, like it's I thought like, you know how like we make fun of like white people and go, oh, when you're 18 you get kicked out, right? That happens to a lot of my employees. So I was like, wait, what the fuck? Hannah's, English, and she's like, I've never really seen this. Is this an American thing? Because so basically, some of my employees they graduated college, right? And then they're just like, oh, I'll just go home. And then like their parents like, cool, yeah, maybe you could stay over the summer, but you got to get a job and then move out. So it's like this whole like it is a thing.
But how do you do that in Hawaii? That shit's way more expensive.
They're not from Hawaii.
Oh,
so they're going back home because they just graduated. So they're white kids. They graduated. Now it's time for them to like maybe go back home or whatever. And a lot of their parents are like, oh yeah, but then you got to start paying, or like, oh yeah, but then like temporarily, right? So there's no this thing of like, oh yeah, come back anytime and like you could work it out.
I mean, I think at the beginning, like post college, I would encourage that of my child too. I would encourage it.
Sure, yeah.
But also, I think there's
to be under 2 feet, like
you go like experience life as an adult. Go like fuck up. Go figure some shit out. We're still here to take care of you if you need. But it's not like what do you?
But would you charge them rent
if they stayed at home? If they wanted to, I think that we can make it.
Wanted to?
No, if they wanted to stay at home, I might charge them rent based off of like whatever makes the most sense for the teaching of like that time frame. I
was paying rent from age 15 and 16.
No way.
Brother, they had to get jobs. That's just their house rules.
Are they just poor?
They had to work. She worked as a theater usher. No, they're not poor. They're not poor at all.
Oh,
but that's the way that they made it. They were like, you got to help out around the house. So her brother got a job, I think, working at a bakery, and then Smack worked as a theater usher.
Because I used to think
they paid tax basically.
How cold, right? You kick your kids out, but then now like I'm like, I learned so much by living on my own. Like what better time to make those mistakes, learn how to budget, live in a shitty apartment when you're young as early as possible, so that you can take all that knowledge and then apply it to when you're actually going to get a place you like or start a family or whatever.
Or if my daughter's already exhibiting signs of being like a very like intelligent and capable person, I think I'd be more inclined to be like, if you want to stay here, you can stay here because like you're making smart moves for yourself. But if my kid was like a loser already and was super lazy, I'm like, get the fuck out the house.
Are you the type where if your kid just does little menial things, you're like, wow, or are you going to be a little bit harder on them?
I think I'm normal. I think I'm a little bit of both. Yeah. On some random day, I'm gonna like tear up if she does something really, really dumb, and on another day, I'm like, why are we impressed?
Growing up, did your parents say you gotta like pay or you gotta leave? What did your mom and dad do for you?
I think like my parents were just like the kind of poor where they know that the options are like whatever makes sense. So if they're like, hey, if you want to come home, just be home. It's like, hey, if you want to go out there, you can also just be home if you want to, but like do what you got to do.
So just extremely practical.
Yeah.
I'm glad my mom was a hoarder, genuinely, because I did not want to be home at all. Like, I wanted to get the fuck out of there as soon as I could. Plus, my family, they're so addicted to like media and fucking watching TV and watching movies. And like at all hours of the night, we heard TVs on, fucking different channels. And I just wanted to get the fuck out of there as soon as I possibly could.
Yeah.
But they never told you to get out, right? They probably would prefer if you stayed.
They knew I was bouncing as soon as I could.
But they probably would have preferred if you stayed.
I guarantee it, yeah.
My ideal scenario would be like, you know, like Meet the Fockers when like Ben Stiller goes and meets the wife's family for the first time. Like, I want my home to be the comfy, warm home that like the kid could come back to. And it's very nostalgic, but I want them to go and fucking explore and adventure. But every time they come home, it's like, oh, I remember you kept my room the way, you kept it the way that I always had it growing up. Yeah, so it feels, so the nest is there, but this bird needs to go and fucking fly though.
I had an ex who, like, she had very rich parents. And as soon as she left home, like, because I moved her to LA with me, her parents turned her room into a guest room and painted the walls and painted.
That's honestly funny though.
Oh,
like that's
shit.
also kind of funny. I only say that because I'm jealous because my dad kept my sister's room, basically just the room, and then he commandeered my room into an office and like everything's gone.
Oh, damn.
Now I come home, which is funny, but I just sleep in my sister's room.
Do they put your stuff in storage or they just yucked it away? Like,
I'm sure everything's still somewhere because we don't throw stuff away.
oh, really? So all your medals,
Our garage is basically his entire life.
all of your like your sashes and all the.
Oh yeah, that's for sure somewhere. That's cool. Everything.
Dude, I think I'm like opposite because for me it was normal for my family to where everyone stays home, and then when you get married, you might even still live together until you save up
yeah,
and get ready financially, and then they get a down payment or the family helps them or whatever. It didn't happen to me, but my cousins and everyone, they got that responsibility. My parents were fucking losers when it came to money. They fucked up hard.
Money at this point in this era for me, like I like forget some sort of like what's right at a certain age.
Yeah.
If I know that like, you know, my kid was trying to do certain money moves and as a family it would help to like get them. I'd be like, cool, let's play the game. Like who cares about society thinking, but as long as you're comfortable, you're happy, like I'm down to play that game with you.
Luckily, most Asian families are on the same page about that stuff, right?
So you guys aren't it's not like 18 and move out kind of thing, like the stereotype of white people?
I am
on their
now.
mentality about it. I want them to do that. But again, if they're like a loser and lazy, they're for sure doing that.
Yeah, because if they're gonna be but you know, here's the thing: is like if they're gonna be a loser at my house or loser in an apartment, either way, I think it's more about cutting them off. Because it's if you need to. Because they could just be living at home, but they're like, hey, if Taika was like, here's the strategy. I just want to save on rent because I have this startup that I'm building.
Exactly.
Yep.
So like,
It's way
that's a lot
different.
different from like someone who's fucking smoking weed all day and jacking off, and it's like, hey man, like do something.
Well, what if he just doesn't know? Let's say Taika is turning 18 and he just doesn't really know what he wants to do. Are you still going to hardline, well, go out there and figure it out?
If he's done with high school, probably, because I think you learn more by doing than by thinking. So I almost rather have him impulse sign up like what Kamaka did, right? Fucking Peace Corps, whatever. Oh, okay. Just impulse do something because you're going to learn way more from like a 6-month crash course than go, what's the best choice?
But like I'm saying, like, what if he doesn't know and he doesn't even have a move?
And what if during the whole time he's getting super buff and he's getting really good at jiu-jitsu?
But he's got like $0. He's got $0. Would you still, as a dad, be like, "I'll go find it somewhere"?
I'd be like, I'm gonna drop you off at Home Depot, and you're gonna outcompete those guys. I'm actually it's in his blood. Actually, I'm gonna drop you off at Home Depot, like the rest of your other side of the family.
And then if that doesn't
Go
work
get
out,
fucking
Din Tai Fung.
contracting skills, dude.
Oh, damn! You really do that? That's fucking.
Do you think at a certain age you need to do because that's where your lessons are coming from?
But you know, I think like there is the whole throw them in the fucking fire, but then when I see Hannah's family operate, like they're still like some of her like their brothers live together like with her parents, and they all kind of are constantly there helping each other, right? The other day I saw, when I was there, I was watching her little brother do eBay kind of like bidding stuff with his mom, and I was like, that's so fucking cool. Like they're just into bidding auction shit together, and they have like a hobby together. And then I'm like, you can't really build that generational home if you don't live close to each other and you go on your own way. You become like two strangers.
I guess my thing would be if Hannah's mom passed away, could he stand on his own 2 feet? Like right now.
I don't think he ever would be.
That's the thing.
No, he's not a loser though. He's autistic. That's why, like,
because then for me, it would be if you went out for, I don't know, 4 years, 2 years, whatever, you came back with skills, let's do that. Because now you're bringing something to the table. But if I'm still your crutches, then, and I disappear, I just need you to be independent. That's where I'm at. Because I would love to have that too, but you have to bring something to the table and find your own first.
I should have used her brother as an example. Her older brother. Yeah. He's fine on his own.
No, the autistic one was a good example.
It's way funnier. But yeah, like, you know, I think he's a medic nurse or some shit, or I don't know. Anyways, he's fine. But he visits every fucking day. Like he's there every but he has his own place and shit like that. So you're talking about like that. Like you're still eating dinner every day, but then you have your own home down the street or something like that. I see.
My worst case scenario would be like one of Gio's family members. If her mom passed away, this chick's like 35 now. She's fucked. She is not independent. She's still leaning on the mom. But from the outside, look how cute their relationship is.
Yeah, they're like Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, but it's just she never had her, like, she wouldn't even know how to file registration for her car. Like, none of that. Damn, dude. Yeah.
So what I like about her family, though, is the way that they parented. There's such a strong bond with the siblings. If the parents do pass, they have each other's back. Like when Hannah went to London on her own, like her brothers had her back and then just sent her money and like helped her out and shit. So I was like, damn, like if I have kids and then if I have hopefully multiple, that would be such a cool situation. Because in my family, like a lot of the siblings just fucking fight, you know? So, and then they don't know how to keep it together. So I was like, how do you replicate that cool like dynamic?
I would prefer to be on the slider. The slider goes to like live independent than like cohabitation. Like I just think that's where you learn the most. Yeah.
All I'm saying is the cohabitation, if it's goal oriented, I'd be like, I can understand that in today.
I dig that. Yeah.
It's like so much harder. And like, how can you ask a kid going to fucking college and coming out mad debt, hardest job market, most expensive rent? I'm like, fuck, dude, I get it.
But with like intention,
I
think that's awesome. Versus like, just by default, I'm selling stuff with my mom on eBay. Yeah. That's different because now you're making like. I mean, I'm not judging. I'm just.
That's funny.
It's funny because he's autistic.
Yeah, but I'm just. It's like I think there's a difference between I'm doing this to optimize versus I'm doing this to make the best out of the worst situation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's it, but that's what happens. No, but there's a lot of 30-year-olds that are like that.
Autistic?
But if he wasn't, like, no, I'd agree actually. If he wasn't autistic and he's just fucking doing it because he's doesn't really have any drive, then like.
Search how many autistic kids are still at home. Let's make fun of that.
Since he's probably Bart's the only person with a real example of like, because he's closest to this. But like, how much of a save are you willing to give for Taika if he was, let's say he's 18, he's out in the world, and there's like certain problems that come his way, you know, where he's like, oh, dude, I'm about to get an eviction notice at my apartment and stuff. Like, how much of a save are you willing?
I don't think I would allow him to be homeless.
You wouldn't allow it?
No, I wouldn't allow him to be homeless. But if he was like, and I don't think I would allow him to file bankruptcy because I know that fucks you for like 7 years or whatever. So really hardcore ones, I don't think I would allow him to.
Yeah, you can't even let him get his credit score super fucked.
But if he goes like maybe 500, I'm like, you got to figure out your own way to bring it back up.
And is that like an unlimited amount of times type thing?
You would be like, you got to figure out your own way to bring it back. You wouldn't be like, hey, this is the way to bring it back up. Start doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah, I would, but I wouldn't do it for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would. I think best lessons are best if you taught yourself. Like someone could guide you, but the minute someone does something for you, I think you take the lesson away.
True.
Would you be unavailable to talk to him about the planning on the weekends? Because you're like, nah, dude, I put a different hat on the weekend.
Yeah, it's my weekend hat. Don't talk.